Corporate megastores are spending millions lobbying DC politicians on one-sided policies that send small businesses tumbling. They want to enact harmful credit card mandates that take resources away from your local credit union and community bank, leaving Main Street businesses with less access to credit, making it harder for your family to pay for everyday goods like gas and groceries. Tell Congress to guard your card and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
You're listening to the Archaeology Podcast Network.
You're listening to the Archaeology Show. TAS goes behind the headlines to bring you the real stories about archaeology and the history around us. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Archaeology Show, episode 319.
On today's Timelines episode, we compare Petra, the Nazca Lines, and the Great Wall of China.
Let's dig a little deeper, find more sections of that wall, and lines, and all kinds of stuff, because it's archaeology. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Hello.
So I hope that we sound better for the first time in, I don't know, 8 years.
So many years.
Bought new microphones.
Yeah, and they seem so fancy. Like, I'm not usually like a let's do a video recording person because I don't want to like put makeup on and stuff, which I would feel like I would have to do, you know?
You don't, but go ahead.
But these mics are so cool looking. I feel like they need to be on video. Like we need to start putting this on YouTube or something.
For those geeks out there, they're the Shure MV7 Pluses. And we got new booms for them and everything. So
it's all good. Like new and like just looks really nice.
Yeah.
So the setup looks really cool.
Yeah.
And I've been demanding a tabletop mic stand basically since we started recording together.
Cave person.
You're so against it, but you finally got me one.
They just take up space on the table, whereas a boom you could just set away.
They do, but I've always struggled with the booms. I don't know. We're trying it. We're trying her.
All
okay,
right.
There's your little peek into the behind the scenes.
There's a boom behind her on standby.
So, I know. I can't believe you also bought a boom because you're so sure I'm going to hate this.
Yes, also. Okay, so a little bit of update on us, too. You may have seen if you subscribe to our newsletter. If you do not subscribe to our newsletter, go to arcpodnet.com and just scroll up the page a bit. If you haven't been there in a while, it will pop up a little thing where you can subscribe to the newsletter.
You totally should. You just get a little update on all the episodes that have come out. You know, you don't have to go listen to them, but you get the update.
Right. So Tilly, our social media person and many other things, but she does the newsletter as well. She put out a couple pictures of us from our cruise that we were on. I don't know, as we're recording this, it was the week before Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And it was fun. It was a good time.
It was nice and relaxing. We haven't had like a true just like relaxed vacation because like we don't vacation well. We go and do like we go hard, right?
Yeah.
Like we're always touring and seeing and doing all the things. And this was the first vacation where we just like had nothing planned for a long time. We only got off the ship one time. We just relaxed and enjoyed the ship. I cannot recommend a vacation like that more. Just do something where you want to do nothing the whole time and just like let your brain decompress. That was what it was for us.
Well, and pro tip, if you're a kind of person that needs internet on a cruise, don't do Norwegian.
Oh my God.
Because the internet was garbage. Not only did it not
really
work
terrible.
half the time. Yeah, but there's minutes involved, and if you don't go to the page where it's turned on your internet and hit log out, it'll just keep counting.
Yeah.
So,
but honestly, it was like a forced like
detox
from all things internet.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't just doom scroll at night, which was really a nice break. I need to figure out how to get that into my real life.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's our update. We're in Charlotte now, which is where we're going to be for the next couple months. It's where I am from originally. My family's here. We are chilling at my brother's house right now. And yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. You know what else is great?
What?
Things that link together.
Things that link together.
It's a timelines.
We haven't done one of these in so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for those that are new to the show, a timelines episode is where we try to sometimes somewhat tenuously link historical events or places or something across the world. Because I think I thought about this a long time ago when I was like, oh, so we've got this happening here.
Yeah.
What was happening in the rest of the planet at that time?
Yeah, like there's often like something big going on that everybody knows about.
Yeah.
But while that big thing, that really important thing was happening for that one region or that one area, what was happening around the world? Because these different societies were all growing and changing and developing at different rates at different places, but sometimes they overlapped and were doing amazing things at the same time. So it's just cool to see what was happening around the world in one I mean, it would be cool if it were 1 year, but it's never just 1 year. It's kind of like a range of years. So this episode, we're kind of targeting that like just before the BC. What am I trying to say? Just before
the Jesus line. Let's just call it that.
I've been calling.
I mean, whether you're religious or not,
calling it the Jesus line in our notes, but that's
whether you're religious or not, our modern day calendars are based on Jesus's birth.
Yeah.
So the zero line.
Yeah, the zero line. So just before that, like the couple centuries right before we go from BCE, before Common Era, to CE, Common Era, or AD to BC, if you use that style of year.
Well, BC to AD. We're not going in a time machine here.
Oh, yeah. BC to AD. Right. Oh, my God. I'm getting so confused. Anyway, yes. Okay. That time period.
Yeah. So, it's like the 500 years before that, give or take. Yeah. So, because not everything happens exactly at the same time.
No.
But in the cases of what we're going to talk about, they were probably used at the exact same time, whether or not they were constructed or whatever. So
they certainly were. Like construction was at different times, but people were using these places and things and whatever.
And you've already heard about them in the intro. So let's just get straight into the first one. And it's Petra. And if you're like, Petra sounds familiar, but I don't quite know what it is, think back to Indiana Jones. And it's the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, when him and his father, Sean Connery, and the other guy, what was his name in the show, in the movie?
I don't remember.
Sala. They are basically, the whole thing takes place in what's called the treasury at Petra. Now, you can't actually go in. It's not this whole big thing like they made it out to be in Indiana Jones.
Yeah, the whole inside is completely
it's completely different than what it really looks like.
Yeah.
But the treasury is part of a larger complex at Petra, and that is part of Petra.
That's the like iconic image though of the like sort of
carved into the wall.
Carved structure. It looks like carved directly into the wall.
Yeah.
And before we start talking a little bit more about Petra, in case you haven't remembered, this was episode 312, but because we haven't had an episode every single week, it's been a little while since we recorded it, but that was our bucket list episode.
Oh yeah.
And both of us had Petra as our number 2 place to go on our list, with the pyramids just bumping those out. So Petra is somewhere that we have never been, and it's most definitely on our list of places to get to someday. So
yeah, Petra is in what's known as Jordan today. And that's in the Middle East. And it was basically carved into these red sandstone cliffs. And the people that did this were called the Nabataeans. They did a bunch of stuff around in that area for a long time, actually. And this was around the 4th century BCE, give or take. It's not like these things were carved overnight. And there's a lot of different carvings and structures and things like that. So
yeah, for sure. The city's origins are rooted in the fact that it was like a hub on these ancient trading routes. They connected all the different continents right there. Like you have Egypt, the Mediterranean, the various different Arabic populations in that area. And this is a place where lots of goods, lots of people, lots of commodities were moving through in the ancient world.
Yeah, because of where its location was, the Nabataeans were pretty heavy traders. They dealt with all these people and from different areas, but they were also master engineers. They built intricate water management systems, including dams, cisterns, tunnels. And it's not just the treasury that's there.
Yeah.
There's something called the monastery, or ad-dir is what it's called, A-D, and then D-E-I-R. And that is just one of the other rock cut facades that's in the little gorge there.
Yeah, and apparently it's even bigger than the treasury.
Yeah.
So like these places were they were well constructed, obviously very engineered with incredibly like complicated mathematics and everything in order to do that. These societies were so advanced. So yeah.
Yeah, the area there is called the Street of Facades, and it's lined with just dozens of tombs, and each one of them is a tiny little masterpiece of engineering and carving.
Yeah, I think what often happens with places like these is you see that one image. Everybody's seen the one image of the sandstone cliffs with the facade carved into it. And there's just so much more to it than that. And I hate that it gets, I don't know, sort of condensed down into this one thing when there's so much more to see, like these tombs that they're talking about. There's apparently royal tombs, like the urn tomb and the silk tomb, which are just amazing examples of like the blending of different styles of the different like peoples who were living here.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that I've never even seen pictures of that, not until doing research for this episode. So like, that's the sort of stuff that I love to learn about places like this. It's not just about the facade. It's more than that.
Yeah. And kind of the cool thing here too is that you might think this was all just ritual because of the temple type nature of these things and the tombs and stuff like that. But archaeologists are actually finding out that there's also civic purpose to some of these things and that they're still kind of working all this out because, well, just there aren't really great records.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's archaeology is just piecing it together, right?
Yeah. So, but the fact that it was possibly used for both ceremonial and, public civic reasons is kind of neat that they didn't just have this as a, kind of a one-off.
Yeah, but there's definitely places for ritual too, like the Qasr al-Bint temple. It's one of the few freestanding structures on the site or in the area. And they think it was possibly dedicated to the Nabataean goddess Dushara. That's a cool.
Yep. There's a little satellite settlement that gives some clues to Petra's suburban life. A little suburbia
so
there.
Funny.
Yeah, and they call it Little Petra or Sik al-Barid. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then another reason why this area sort of connected in nicely to our sort of year zero time frame, or a little before, a little after, is that in 106, Petra became part of the Roman Empire. So, the Romans were kind of marching across the world at that point.
Yeah.
And Petra was subsumed.
I'm sure they were like, hey, can we join you guys?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were. They were like, who are you? And why do you think you have any rights to be here? Oh, wait.
Well, and the Romans tried to explain like what they would give them. And so Petra was like, so apart from...
So we already have cisterns and we already have aqueducts. We already have roads. We already have... Yeah, what are you going to bring? What are you coming here? Oh, weapons. Got it. Okay.
Yes. All right. We have to change our language and our religion. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you're Roman now.
Yes.
Take it or leave it.
Yes. All right. Well, there's also a Byzantine church there with mosaics that are amazing, as they always are. And this just shows how important Petra continued to be even into later periods.
Yep. The Petra pool and garden complex is very luxurious, actually. So, you've definitely got an upper class, I guess you could say here, to invest in, places like that. So there's definitely many different classes of people living together in this same city.
Yeah. So aside from what they called the high place of sacrifice, which was used for religious ceremonies and animal sacrifices, they've also got just hundreds of rock cut tombs. I mean, this sandstone is not super difficult to carve into. That's why you can get so intricate. And people use those for their tombs, and each one of them tells a story about status, family, belief, just with the engravings and probably where it is on the rock face as well. So, yeah, for sure. And I'm not going to use the word abandoned, even though our notes say that but abandonment of a city it's an interesting idea because the people didn't go anywhere usually, but they might have a little bit. So, in this case, they could have if it was difficult to rebuild.
Yeah, but our notes here say that there was a series of earthquakes that just caused devastation to the cities, and then the trade routes changed in response to the earthquakes, and then over time, the city just was no longer the big central hub that it used to be, and then it sort of kind of fell to ruins. So until it was rediscovered by Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt in 1812, which is amazing to me. Like, again, rediscovered by Europeans. The local people, of course, knew about it and knew it was there for a very long time. So
they probably knew something was there, but didn't quite know what it was too. Because in this area, like Saudi Arabia, Jordan, this whole areas, there are places that have just been buried by sand.
That's true. The sand is relentless, so it'll cover something real quick.
I mean, if you don't have people constantly keeping it clean and sweeping out, you get buried in a hurry. I learned that also from Indiana Jones. So, yep.
Where all your knowledge comes from, isn't it?
My entire archaeological training. That's why there's 4 movies, so you can have like 4 years of college education.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, there's actually 5
year
movies,
one,
but we don't talk
year
about
two.
that.
Yeah, we don't talk about the
that's your postdoc.
That one.
When you go into aliens. So Petra is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, as well it should be.
Yeah.
And it is one of the new 7 wonders of the world, not one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, even though it was in the ancient world, but it's one of the new 7 wonders of the world.
Yeah.
So,
and there are plenty of other sites nearby too. We have the modern town of Wadi Musa, and then there's a Crusader fortress called Shobak Castle. There's another ancient city called Hegra, also known as Madain Salih. In in Saudi Arabia. So I guess it's I didn't realize it, but it's kind of on the border there with Jordan and Saudi Arabia.
Well, that's also a Nabataean site because they didn't know where borders were.
No, they didn't
care.
They did not have modern borders.
They had their own
obviously.
borders.
So but
Archaeologists are still debating how much of Petra remains unexcavated.
Again, the sand factor, right?
Yeah. Ground penetrating radar, or GPR, suggests that there's a lot more to recover. And GPR would be really good in this case because if there are buried rock structures, it would be pretty easy for GPR to see that. Yeah.
Well, and if they typically carved into the faces of already existing cliffs and natural formations, you would think that we'd have some kind of indication from what we can see to know where to look. So it's probably just a matter of somebody getting the money, the time, everything you need to put on a grand excavation to uncover more. But there certainly would be more, I'm sure.
Because of its location as a crossroads for trading and things like that, pottery, so different styles of pottery, certain inscriptions on things, and coins found here help to date the city's growth. So when you find different coins, different pottery, and different layers and things like that, it helps date the city's growth and also reveal connections to places like Palmyra, which was over in Syria, I want to say, and Damascus. So
all my information comes from Ticket to Ride maps, but I think that sounds correct.
Yeah. So
I get my geography from.
Yes. The Petra Archaeological Park protects not just the monuments, but also the desert ecosystem around it. So helps to preserve all that for future studying. Yeah.
So Petra is just really a stunning place on our list, of course, to see. And, I've recently seen this, just a little Instagram tangent, but I've recently seen too, a lot of pictures showing that there's not nearly as many crowds right now in Petra. And I don't know why exactly that is, if there's safety concerns with going to Jordan right now or what it is. But it does seem like if you can't get there right now, that there's not as many people making it. Because you know how it is, right? Like a place that's super popular like this. Yes, you get to see the thing, but you also get to see thousands of people at the same place. So
100%.
Anyway, that's what Instagram is telling me anyway. I don't know. That's where I get all the information.
Yes. Okay. Well, for the next segment, we are going to go across the world, literally to an entirely different continent.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about the Nazca Lines. Big lines in the desert. Back in a minute.
Corporate megastores are spending millions lobbying DC politicians on one-sided policies that send small businesses tumbling. They want to enact harmful credit card mandates that take resources away from your local credit union and community bank, leaving Main Street businesses with less access to credit, making it harder for your family to pay for everyday goods like gas and groceries. Tell Congress to guard your card and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
Welcome back to episode 319 of the Archaeology Show.
You never come back from a segment like that. Is it because we recorded the first segment a week ago?
It might be. This is like a new podcast.
You really threw me off with that one. I was like, am I supposed to say hello like I normally do?
Hello.
This is not a new show.
We should do every segment that way.
Oh my
I mean, what if people pause and then they don't come back to it for like a week?
Right.
Welcome back to the show. If you waited as long as we did.
They probably didn't. It's been 30 seconds.
All right. Well, it took us a long time to get from Petra to Peru.
It is quite a distance. That is fair. We didn't cross it physically, but we did move between houses in Charlotte.
Yes. Emotionally, it's been a long journey. So
we're still in Charlotte, though.
Right.
Still visiting family. We will be here through the holidays.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the Nazca Lines in our Timelines episode here were built and used around the same time as the structures at Petra.
Yeah.
And, those took a long time to build.
What are we calling it? The Jesus line?
The Jesus line. Yeah, they crossed the Jesus line.
They do. So the Nazca Lines, built by the Nazca culture, of course. And they were built sometime. Is built the right word? Constructed? Created?
Built and constructed are the same thing, but...
Yeah, I guess so.
They flipped over a bunch of rocks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. We'll talk about that. But they were built and then in use between 500 BCE and 500 CE. So on
to be fair, I think people are still using them today.
Well, sure. By the culture who created them, though, by the Nazca people. That's when they were doing that. So, and that's, pretty similar to Petra. Petra was a little bit earlier, but only because they just didn't continue to use Petra as long as they did the Nazca Lines.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Interestingly, for a long time, especially after the people who created these kind of fell out of cultural significance, they probably looked like just random lines in the desert.
Yeah, they probably did.
Yeah, until we had the ability to really see these from the air. And let's back up just a second here. People are like, well, how did these people create these things? Well, they had their own vision.
Yeah.
They had their own idea of what they were creating, and they made what they were creating. And if they could see it from whatever means, spiritually or whatever, that they could see it, then great. But once the generations that created these things were gone, well, people just had to kind of envision what they were, right? So
it's hard to see that.
Yeah.
And they weren't just like random lines in the desert, which is what later generations, later cultures might have thought.
Yeah.
There are over 800 straight lines, but those lines make geometric shapes and animal and plant figures and all kinds of different shapes and images, figures and stuff like that. So
yeah, some of the famous shapes you may have seen or heard of are a hummingbird.
I love that one.
I know.
Yeah,
that one's pretty cool.
That's probably my favorite one.
Yeah, a spider, a monkey, and something we call the astronaut.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a humanoid figure that, I don't know, kind of looks astronautish. But the kind of funny thing about that is there's a bunch of ancient aliens people out there that kind of try to bring in because, they couldn't have made this unless you could see it from the air and blah, blah, blah.
It's such good fodder for ancient aliens, which is so annoying because it was not ancient aliens.
Well, let's be honest. Any ancient alien that could have actually made it to this planet using whatever means probably had better technology than our big astronaut helmets that we had when that was first named.
Yeah, it's just like a total coincidence. So, it means something else to these people, clearly.
Right. So the way they made these, they didn't use spray paint like you might think.
Nope.
No, they basically just removed these reddish pebbles from the ground and it revealed this lighter earth beneath. They still do that in Nevada all the time, in the high desert of the West. Literally just to make mountain monikers, so letters and things like that. People literally just move stones or turn them over because they've been sitting for so long. They're literally different colors on the other side.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And also the top layer, the top couple, inches probably is just a different color than what's below it. And that's very common geologically speaking in many places around the world. And in this area, they just happen to take advantage of that by revealing that soil or maybe it's even bedrock underneath there. I'm not really sure which one, but by revealing that lighter color underneath, they could essentially just, paint images in the desert, which is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. The Nazca's site of, I don't know how I'm going to pronounce this. Kawachi? Yeah.
The HUA is a Wa symbol. Yeah.
That was their ceremonial center. And as we know, pyramids weren't exclusive to Egypt.
Nope.
But they had adobe pyramids and plazas that they had. And not only that, but something called the Cantilac aqueducts are still functioning today. Cantilac? Yeah. Are still functioning today, which show their engineering skills and things like that. So,
And then they also had spiral wells called puquillos that would have tapped into the underground water. So this is a very sophisticated society with the, much like the Romans.
So aside... I was actually going to say that, but you led me into it.
I set you up really badly.
Yeah,
I basically
much
just
like
said it.
the Romans. That's terrible. So let's just rewind a little bit.
Okay, pretend I didn't say that.
I was going to say, so aside from the gigantic figures in the desert, the aqueducts, and the
puquillos,
spiral wells, what have the Nazca done for us?
Yep. I don't know if when we make that joke every single episode, we're giving the Roman credit or taking away from the Romans' accomplishments. Yeah. I feel like we should be taking away though, because the Romans did all these things, but so did so many other cultures like the Nazca.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, moving on. Some lines do point towards ancient ceremonial sites or maybe water sources. They do seem to point in a certain direction. It's just the thing is that we can't get inside the minds of the people who created these lines, so we don't know if they meant to point that direction, if it was an accident, if it was on purpose. It's so hard to say. So it's going to be a constant debate forever until we find a piece of writing that says that we want to point this line in this direction. And I don't think we're going to find that. So
thing is, these kinds of cultural things like art and different engineering techniques and construction and things like that kind of bleed off onto other people, right? Mm-hmm. And something that not a lot of people know, the nearby Paracas culture also made giant ground shapes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
So there's a place called Palpa where they made those.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the Nazca Lines obviously were constructed, 2,000 plus years ago. And they're still visible in the desert today. And that preservation, of course, is because of the stable, dry climate. Thank you, desert.
Yeah.
Very helpful. But one big rainstorm really, truly could, cause them to disappear by moving the rocks around, erasing the lighter patches, so.
Yeah, I feel like if it dries out, they'll come right back, though.
Yeah, maybe. Yep.
So theories about how these lines were used by archaeologists and other people are anything from the obvious astronomical calendars to maybe mimic the shapes that they're seeing in the skies. Because different cultures had different constellations than we do today.
True.
They just saw different things based on their own worldview. Then, of course, we see. They never would have seen Orion, the hunter, because that is, a different culture. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so that's a myth from Greek or Roman mythology, right? So, yeah.
And so what we would think that these could be was obviously some sort of astronomical thing or ritual pathways for processions. And this is the one thing that I've seen people doing in today's world is you literally walk the lines.
Oh, yeah.
And there's other cultures that do this too. They have these pathways and you meditate, you do something while you're walking the pathway,
And these shapes were often animal figures or plant figures. So if those animals or plants had some kind of significance in their culture, then maybe walking that line was, meant to be some kind of relationship with the animal, and animals were very important to these ancient cultures. So, yeah.
Interestingly, some of the pottery found at some of these Nazca sites is kind of famous for its vibrant colors and motifs.
Yep.
And they have stylized animals and supernatural beings on them.
Makes sense.
It's kind of a thing they had going on, right?
Yeah. And that's typical in a lot of Peru too, because when I worked in Peru, here's my moment to throw in my time in Peru.
Yeah, drink.
But up in the north where I was working, because these are in the south, and up in the north where I worked, there was also really cool, cute little animal figures. I don't mean to make that sound less important, but to my modern eye, they're just really cute, really stylized animals on a lot of the pottery that you see in a lot of the different cultures. So it's just part of that region.
Yeah. Interestingly, they also left behind, the Nazca did, these mysterious trophy heads or skulls with holes for carrying. Yeah. So your little skull purse, carry around all your valuables, right?
I mean, hopefully it was used for something a little bit more important than just carrying around, your stuff. but maybe it was for rituals or some kind of thing like that.
Yeah, of course.
Also drink.
Yeah, also drink.
Yeah, I guess this is the podcast of a drinking game.
Yep. So back to the lines. Some of the lines form trapezoids and rectangles, and there are people that think that these could have marked ceremonial spaces or processional routes. Now, again, shapes like that, rectangles, things like that, we always associate those with, outline of, something that was going on, because we do everything in rectangles in their culture today, right? But not everybody did everything in rectangles back in the day. So I think that's a little presumptuous personally, trying to place a modern bias on something so old.
Yeah, and it's so easy to do when we're looking at these things with our modern eyes. You have to be careful about that for sure.
Yeah. The Nazca Lines, as rightly so, are now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and that means lots of people come to see them. I mean, they're pretty famous regardless. Yeah. But just being on the UNESCO list makes people want to go out and see them.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to Peru 3 times and I never made it down to the southern part of the country to see these. So it's definitely something I would love to go back and do. Yeah. And just learning more about the people in general who made them, because it sounds like they've got a really strong presence in that part of the world. So I think that's the other thing. We were talking about this with Petra too. Yes, go see the big thing that is famous, but also make sure you learn about the culture and the people that created it, because that is almost more interesting to me once you get into it and you start speculating about why they did the things they did. Why would they make these huge lines in the desert that you really can't see what they are unless you're in the air, which they weren't. So they just had to create that using their engineering skills and their brains. Yeah. And they're beautiful and amazing. And that is just such a cool piece of ancient culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as we're still trying to figure out what the Nazca Lines are, people still go there because it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I think they have a big problem with preservation, probably.
Yeah.
And keeping people from, kicking rocks and moving things around.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know what the tourism like. I mean, obviously there's air tourism for it because you see them from the air is really amazing. But I don't know what the ground tourism situation is. I've never looked into it, but hopefully I know Peru was really into like preserving their prehistoric history when I was there. They had a lot of laws that were coming into play just in the few years that I worked down there. So hopefully they're doing a good job of preserving it today too, but I don't really know what the state is right now.
I don't either.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
maybe someday we'll learn because we're going to go visit, right?
That's right. Yeah. All right. Well, on the other side of the break, we're going to talk about some other people who like to draw big lines, but they just did the one. The Great Wall of China's next. Back in a minute.
With Venmo Stash, a taco in one hand and ordering a ride in the other means you're stacking cash back. Nice. Get up to 5% cash back with Venmo Stash on your favorite brands when you pay with your Venmo debit card. From takeout to rideshares, entertainment, and more, pick a bundle with your go-tos and start earning cash back at those brands. Earn more cash when you do more with Stash. Venmo Stash terms and exclusions apply. Max $100 cash back per month. See terms at venmo.me/stash terms.
DC politicians want to enact harmful credit card mandates that could take away your cash back and rewards points. Perks that stretch your budget and make life a little easier. Losing these benefits means less money for your family's everyday essentials like gas and groceries. The perks you rely on could disappear, leaving you with higher costs and fewer options. Tell Congress to guard your card and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
Welcome back to the Archaeology Show, episode 319.
No, we're not doing that. In fact, I'm going to edit that out of both of these segments. It's not happening.
No.
Although
Say hello.
You might actually edit this episode.
No. Hello.
No, I'm not doing it.
Just in case you paused this for a week and then came back, we welcome you back to the third segment of the show.
Oh my God.
All right. So speaking of things in segments, we're going to talk about the Great Wall of China.
Yeah.
And yeah, this thing, first off, if you remember back to our review of the reboot of Time Bandits as a TV show.
Yes.
They went back because they're traveling through time, different historical references. They went back to where the Great Wall of China was like a one stone in the ground.
Yeah, like a little tiny segment of like one layer of stone.
I mean, it did have to start with one thing.
Had to start somewhere.
But I don't think they were defending it.
No. They didn't consider it a boundary probably when it was that small and that short.
No. So.
But what is true is that they built it in segments.
Yeah.
And construction probably began as early as the 7th century BCE, which is way earlier than the other two segments.
A couple hundred years. That's not, I mean,
well, I guess not way earlier, but it is a little bit earlier. But the bulk of it did start happening in that sort of 2000, 2500 years ago time period. So that's why we're talking about this in the timelines episode.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny because most of what we see actually today actually is much more recent.
Much more recent.
Yeah, 14th to 17th century CE from the Ming Dynasty.
Yeah.
That was kind of the big one that transformed China.
That's like what you think of when you think of the Great Wall, is those really beautifully formed sections of wall. Those weren't constructed when we're talking about right now. Those were much, much later.
And as we learned in the wonderful Tom Cruise movie, what was it?
I don't think I saw it.
13 Samurai or something?
That sounds like something you watched without me.
Like he was literally no accent whatsoever. He was just,
just a white dude in China.
A white dude in China wearing samurai clothes.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad cultural appropriation moment. But
it was pretty bad.
Moving on from that.
Kind of cool watching people fight on the wall, though. It was kind of a concept. But anyway, it was a terrible movie. There wasn't 13 Samurai. It had to be something else.
No, it was something else.
I feel like
Last Samurai.
The Last Samurai, maybe? Yeah. Which, again, if that was white boy Tom Cruise, they got problems. Anyway, the wall isn't a single structure, as we mentioned. It's a series of walls, watchtowers, and fortresses stretching over 13,000 miles and is visible from space.
Yes, for sure.
Kind of neat.
And the early walls were built by the Qi, the Yang, and the Zhou, which was during a period called the Warring States when, well, there was lots of war going on.
Like, I can imagine the political campaigns now. Build that wall.
Oh my God. Please no.
My God. It's never ended. The first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, unified sections into what became the 10,000 li long wall around 221 BC.
And there you go. There's our timeline date. That's where we're linking these in together. But like we keep saying about these timelines episodes, these places are so epic that they are never just 1 year or even 1 century. They've got years before and years after. So,
which is super cool. Like if you actually were, well, okay, let me back up, because I always think about the whole Star Trek idea of like going to a Renaissance fair and dressing up as Star Trek characters, like you're observing it.
So that would be so funny.
I know.
Yeah.
But like, it always makes me think of, actually visiting another culture in a spaceship or something like that. And you have the ability to look at different parts of the world. And in one part of the world, people are flipping over rocks and making huge hummingbirds. In another part of the world, people are building these, huge walls and having their own little things going on. In another part of the world, these people are carving intricate drawings into sandstone.
Yeah, into like a rock face, basically.
And in another part of the world, people are nailing a dude up on a cross thinking they're changing the world. So, but all these things are happening simultaneously. Yeah. And it is just really super interesting when we think that, we've got all these cultures figured out and we can pigeonhole them into these little categories. But man, they're so complex.
Yeah, for sure.
So, anyway, Juyeguan Pass, Juyeguan Pass, I don't know, marks the western edge. And it's an impressive fortress on the border of the Gobi Desert. I would love to see that. Yeah.
And then the eastern end is at Haiguan, where the wall meets the Bohai Sea.
Yeah. It really feels very Game of Thrones with this wall thing, and it goes to the sea. And
yes,
it wasn't, like 800 feet high, however big that wall.
No, and it wasn't keeping out, spirits that were trying to murder you. But
I might have thought it was. So
yeah,
the Badaling section, Badaling, I don't know, near Beijing is the most visited and best restored. And it's usually where you see those iconic photos of the wall. Yeah.
And those are the later sections too.
Yeah.
But other famous stretches include the Mitanyu.
We're really butchering this.
I know. The Mitanyu, Yingshengling, and the Simmatai.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, it's huge. It's so long. So there's definitely many different places to see and many different bits of history along this same huge structure to learn about.
So the actual purpose of this wall, its main purpose anyway, was defense against the northern nomadic groups that were warring against different people and trying to come in, especially the Xiongnu and later the Mongols. So it was hard to get over a wall and easier to defend than just like open ground. So it actually had a pretty decent purpose.
Yeah, and the reason there were so many watchtowers or beacon towers along the way is because that's how they communicated. And that would be your smoke signals. And name that movie.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite parts of Lord of the Rings because they literally used the speed of light to communicate.
Yeah. By lighting the fire.
You start a fire, and as long as somebody's watching, I mean, they will see that nearly immediately.
Yeah.
The only reason they wouldn't see it immediately is if it was during the day, they'd have to probably see the smoke or something.
Yeah.
Because the flame could be too far away. But at night, they could see it immediately and light another fire, and you could communicate whatever that one message. I mean, you only have one message.
There's only one message. That's the problem with it. It's one thing. So you all have to be in agreement of what that one thing means. Yeah. But you can communicate it very quickly.
But imagine being on watch when the next fire is lit and you're like, oh, it's happening. It's happening. I've been here for 30 years. It's finally happening.
Oh, yeah. I can't imagine it's communicating something good, though. I mean, it's got to be invasion or something, right?
Yeah, it's got to be bad. Yeah. I would have thought, too, that the Chinese especially, I mean, they invented gunpowder. They were really into chemicals and things like that. I wonder if they ever got into making the fire different colors to convey different messages.
Oh, that's possible.
Because you can do that pretty easily. But I don't know how... It would take a big fire to,
The distance to see that color would be difficult. Yeah.
So... Anyway, the wall also helped to control trade and migration, serving as a customs barrier along the famous Silk Road.
That makes sense, yeah. And there have been many archaeological digs at various different places along the wall, of course. And they found ancient barracks, granaries, and there are, as far as artifacts go, ceramics that would have been left behind by soldiers at various different times. So there's a pretty good material culture history of the wall from all of these excavations.
So what was it made of? Well, all the different sections were constructed from local materials. whatever was local to that section of the wall.
Yep.
And they were made from rammed earth, which is basically just packed earth, and bricks and stone, depending on the region.
Yeah.
So,
Again, I think a lot of people in your mind, you think of the stone wall, right? But in a lot of cases, it actually wasn't made of stone. It was, packed earth, more of a mound almost than that like iconic stone wall. So
yeah. Interestingly too, like you said, some sections, like one called, in a place called Gansu, I think is how it's pronounced, are rapidly eroding. And others have just been lost to time because the locals were like, hey, we need the stone, bro.
Yeah. I mean, not every time in history has been into preserving the past. And obviously you have to place the needs of your current life. Yeah. So. Yeah.
And if the current emperor or whoever's in charge of that state or whatever is not really focusing on the wall anymore, they're not defending it, they're not maintaining it.
Yeah, because maybe it's a time of prosperity and safety. Yeah. They don't need a wall like that, right? So it makes sense.
Yeah, the wall obviously passes by a number of historic sites, different passes and fortresses and things like that. And the Ming Dynasty added massive amounts of brickwork and watchtowers, making it stronger and more visually striking than it ever was before.
Which again was in a time of unrest where they were really needing to protect that border from whoever they were fighting with. I think the Mongols at that time probably, and that's why you get these beautiful walls that were constructed.
Yeah.
So,
another thing that makes sense is recent excavations have revealed older, forgotten buried sections because of course
you have to fix.
Yeah, either A, parts have could have gone into ruin and fallen over, or been destroyed in conflict, or B, they just had to be built upon, and they probably would have, I would imagine if it was a tall section, they could have taken apart, some of the crumblier bits on top and built on the harder packed stuff below. But you would see this
stratigraphy of wall. Yeah. Again, that's so cool because, it's like what was happening at this time period that they felt like they needed to add 4 more feet to the wall or whatever. Obviously more unrest, but who are they fighting with? Why? Like, that's super interesting when you start digging into the details of each like specific section or area. Yeah.
And of course, this is a
UNESCO World Heritage Site. Of course.
All the good places are.
Yep.
And it's a symbol of China's history, of course. So, and of course, there's a lot of ancillary constructions along with the wall. You had to get to the wall. You had to live at the wall. You had to do things at the wall. So it's not just the Great Wall of China.
It's not just wall.
Yeah. There's roads, ditches, signal fire platforms, all kinds of things that have been found around this.
All the towers we've talked about too. And so there's ton. And the people that worked on the wall had to live somewhere. So I don't know if they had official cities or more like more temporary encampment kind of deals going on, but I'm sure there's tons of evidence of those at different places as well.
Funny, in our notes, we found a comment that said, says the wall's legacy is global, meaning people knew about it and then decided to build similar things. And one of the similar things mentioned in this comment was Hadrian's Wall in the UK.
Of course.
If I'm not mistaken, you can just step over Hadrian's Wall in most places.
You can, yeah.
So, I mean, it served as a boundary, a political boundary.
Yeah.
And you could place people along it and say, don't cross this wall. But it was by no means the Great Wall of China.
No. And like we keep saying, the Great Wall of China was huge and long, and some sections are very small, probably. And you could just step over them. And in some places it's gone completely now too because of erosion and people reusing and whatever. So it's kind of a weird comparison, but sure.
Well, like all walls, they're expensive to build and hard to maintain. I mean, people that are listening to this that might not be from the United States, or people in the United States that might have never been to a border state with Mexico, there are only certain areas where there's actually a wall. There are almost impassable sections of desert where it's just like if you're out there for any length of time, you're probably going to die. And there's no wall there. There's a fence likely.
There's always a fence at least, and it's a very tall fence in most cases. But
in some cases, it's not. Right? It's just I've done some archaeology out in that area, and especially on the Southern California, Arizona side, right down there. When you get away from the cities, you get away from the cities, you get out in these remote areas where, again, sure, try to walk across. You're probably not going to make it.
It's like desert is very unforgiving.
You can't drive. You can't do anything. It's just terrible. And there's almost nothing there. It's not like the Canada one where there almost is no fence along the entire border. So you could literally just walk from Canada. So
when we got to the Canada-Alaska border, it was just like a cut through the trees. It wasn't really like a fence or anything.
There wasn't anything there.
No.
Well, we could look down and see Canada on one side and Alaska on the other.
It was marked with a maintained cut line of trees.
Like a cut line for a power line or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
anyway.
But anyway, every year they're always digging up new stuff. And the unfortunate thing about this being in China is we probably don't hear about a lot of it. China is very insular with its, I guess, its culture and what happens there. I mean, there are Americans. One of our good friends went over in China, was on a dig, and it was really cool hearing her experiences about that, but it doesn't happen all the time. They keep a lot of stuff kind of close to the vest.
No, but they do like to share the big finds, the big things.
Yeah.
So, and stuff gets out too. Like, anyway, so stuff does get out.
Yeah.
But it does seem like we have to hunt a little bit harder to find new stories coming out of China. So, and we find them when we can.
Right. All right. So that's it for this episode of Timelines. And just so you know, and I know we've missed a handful of episodes.
We've been a little inconsistent lately, but we're going to get our act together.
Yeah, we've got some life situations changing, which will help with that. So we're going to get our act together. But the Archaeology Podcast Network is taking a break from publishing new episodes so people can focus on family and the holidays and just doing what they're going to do for about a month.
Yeah.
And so this will be our last episode until the middle of January. That's a new episode. However, we are going to be promoting and playing episodes from other shows and things like that across all our different feeds so we can cross promote, because some people don't know that this isn't just the archaeology show.
Yeah.
It's a whole network.
We have some really great shows on the network, and we're going to play some of our favorites basically. So you will hear those in your feed, and definitely if you like them, go check them out and follow them too, because there's some really good shows on the network.
As our little nieces in this house we're staying, I would say like and subscribe.
Oh my God.
They do say, they don't even know what that means.
They really don't. It's so ridiculous. It's like everywhere. Oh my God.
So, all right. Well, everybody have a happy whatever holiday you celebrate this season, and just have a good winter. And we will see you in the dead of winter. in
the dead. Yeah, we'll be back in the dead times.
Right about the time we bail and go to Mexico again.
Yeah, we will. We are going to head back to Mexico, heading for warmer weather.
That's right.
Yep.
All right. See you I almost said the flip side, but that's the Rock Hard Podcast.
You can say the flip side.
Yeah, the flip side.
He doesn't say flip side.
He doesn't. He says flip flop. You'll hear that in the Rock Hard Podcast.
Yes.
From Dr. Alan Garfield. But we'll see you on the flip side.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to The Archaeology Show. Feel free to comment and view the show notes on the website at www.archpodnet.com. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at ArchPodNet. Music for this show is called I Wish You Would Look from the band Sea Hero. Again, thanks for listening and have an awesome day. The Archaeology Podcast Network is 10 years old this year. Our executive producer is Ashley Airy, our social media coordinator is Matilda Siebrecht, and our chief editor is Rachel Roden. The Archaeology Podcast Network was co-founded by Chris Webster and Tristan Boyle in 2014 and is part of Culturo Media and DigTech LLC.
This has been a presentation of the Archaeology Podcast Network. Visit us on the web for show notes and other podcasts at www.archpodnet.com. Contact us at chris@archaeologypodcastnetwork.com.
With Venmo Stash, a taco in one hand and ordering a ride in the other means you're stacking cash back. Nice. Get up to 5% cash back with Venmo Stash on your favorite brands when you pay with your Venmo debit card. From takeout to rideshares, entertainment, and more, pick a bundle with your go-tos and start earning cash back at those brands. Earn more cash when you do more with Stash. Venmo Stash terms and exclusions apply. Max $100 cash back per month. See terms at venmo.me/stash terms.
DC politicians want to enact harmful credit card mandates that could take away your cash back and rewards points. Perks that stretch your budget and make life a little easier. Losing these benefits means less money for your family's everyday essentials like gas and groceries. The perks you rely on could disappear, leaving you with higher costs and fewer options. Tell Congress to guard your card and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.